Everybody, it's Invicta. It's time for another Eden Run here, the Binding of Isaac Victor Repentance Plus series. Happy Monday, Mosh Pit. Good start to the new week. Good start to the new year. Kind of, I guess. January's been kind of weird. It's kind of an extension from December lately, so far anyway. But hopefully we'll get ourselves a banger run or a really hard run. We'll find out soon. So we did have another video crossing 3,000 likes, and we still don't even have a like streak goal yet, man. That is awesome. Thank you all very much for all that support, as well as everyone who tuned into the live stream. I appreciate that as well. Here's your meme of the day / artwork of the day, brought to you by Jens Eric Anderson on the Sinvicta subreddit. As always, with these amazing illustrations. Now we're just getting full-blown comics. I can't wait to see the book after this one. So, of course, not obligating Jens or anything like that, but I love the Super Sinvicta. I also kind of love that, like, in the first panel on the top left, it looks like he's got a mustache, which definitely fits the character, although he does start to, he is kind of evolving to look like the Pringles guy, so thank you very much, Jens. I did have to go save Guppy in that one is true. But don't tell anyone my secret identity, though. CJ's going to Lima Golf Romeo Hotel 3 Zulu 41. Obviously, we had Eden's Blessing yesterday. Yeah, all right, fine. Fine. We'll go ahead and take Explosivo. Explosivo is not one of my favorite items, but it does deal a massive amount of damage when it does connect and go off. Yeah, I have no idea how much HP you have. Also, I'm just now realizing that our tears rate is 1.92. That is actually terrible. Wow. Yeah, I was wondering why we're getting tuned up here by these flies, and that's the reason. So we're starting with 1.92 damage. Movement speed's okay for starting. 316 for our damage is, yeah, it's kind of okay. I'm going to back out just to see how much HP we have. Okay, so it's hard to tell. I'm going to end up having to use the Book of Revelations possibly here. The reason why I'm not doing it is because I'm desperately trying to hold out hope that we need to get a Tears upgrade. And if I use the Book of Revelations right now, then that completely removes the chance of us getting a Tears upgrade from the boss, because we're going to get the Cube of Meat or Ball of Bandages. But at the same time, given how much damage we took in that big room there to the flies, I don't know how much HP we've got to spare. And there's no red hearts on the ground to indicate whether or not we have, healable HP. So obviously going into the curse room is less than ideal. The only thing we know is that we've taken damage. That's it. I can't even say for sure that we're not on half of a soul heart, because, well, actually no, I take that back. We aren't on death's door yet, because we would see a little pee puddle at the beginning of every door. So at the very least, we know we have one soul heart remaining. But this is one of those kind of starts that you immediately. Okay, so we do have red hearts. That's good. Good. So this is one of those stars that we immediately know that we're going to need help on. Explosivo is going to be fine. A half-price compost is not terrible, but it's also not great. Explosivo is going to take care of those two fools here. There you go. And Explosivo, I'm not a huge fan of Explosivo. It is dangerous. It does deal friendly fire damage to Isaac, but at the same time, it is a tier effect that demands respect. It can do boss killing amounts of damage early on, especially with the explosions. You just have to be careful that if you do spread it to something that's near you, that they don't still stay near you when it explodes. And this is usually not a problem if you have a faster tears rate than 1.92, because you can at least destroy the body before it actually explodes. But in this case, we cannot do that. Another bad thing about Explosivo is the fact, other than the friendly fire, is the fact that if you attach an Explosivo tier to something that leaps or buries itself underground, you will not be able to get the Explosivo shot off. So now that we're in here and we know that it's not going to be a horseman, I have free reign to just use the Book of Revelations. Wow, look at that Explosivo absolutely destroying Dingle. Good thing too, because man, this fight would have been real dangerous. That's gonna give us a tears rate for sure. Yeah, I was gonna say there ain't no way that's not giving us a tears rate, brother. Was there? I don't remember what was in there. It was compost and something else. No soul hearts, tear detonator. Nah, we're good on that. I think the super secret room is above this room. Yeah, I do want to see what this tarot cloth is, or tarot card is. Justice. Hey, I'll take it. Double bombs, 1 cent, and a key. Very good. And nice. We get ourselves a cantrip trinket as well. All right. Signs of life here. Now, another nice thing about this star is that we have Dreamcatcher, which was given to us by Eden's Blessing that we got towards the end of yesterday's run. And so that's going to provide us with HP, but also, of course, information on whether or not we need to go in and take our item rooms or save the key. And in this case here, we get Hemoptysis or Hemotimisi. It's the sneeze from Azazel. We don't care about it because we know that we're not going to need it or want it. We get a blank rune here. Blank rune could be like a black rune or a Perthro, so I might as well go in here and try it. Yara rune, so that's a big old waste. And I mean, there's nothing bad about Hemoptysis. It just doesn't do anything. Like, yes, you can have a sneeze that sometimes goes off, but for the most part, it's not really an item that I care too much about. Even with Brimstone, like the last thing I care about is having Hemoptysis. Although that was a great use right there. It's ping-ponging these two head turrets. But we go on to last week's question of the episode here, coming in from Home Team 72, who said, question of the episode, what do you think your skill ceiling is? You've talked about... Gotta move OBS. You've talked about how you've been playing for over 10 years. I've been playing longer than that, but... and have been giving advice on how to get better. And how does someone who has thousands of hours still get better? So they're asking, I think what they're asking is just how does someone with my amount of playtime get better? You can always get better at everything you do. No one's truly a master at what they do. There's many different things I can play better. I can think about strategy better. I could do positioning better. I mean, there's all kinds of decision making that you can do to improve your game. It's not necessarily about challenging yourself, but it's just making an improvement on consistencies of improvements, if that makes sense. Like, you're increasing the frequency of improved thoughts, improved plays. Like, that right there was terrible, and that makes me never want to pick up Explosivo again. But understanding that you are not the best player in the world, and I've never ever claimed to, nor will I ever will claim to be the best Isaac player in the world, or the best of anything in the world. I think that it's important for you to kind of know where it's important to be humble and making sure that you are kind of extending that mentality into understanding that you are not the god of a game or something like that. That is how I say, like, hey, we're playing like trash right now. This is Bush League, blah, 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 blah. That is me telling myself, you might be good, which I am, but I'm not the best. And you gotta really check yourself sometimes in anything you do. And Isaac is the same way. So I think that I can improve. There's multiple ways I can improve. I think that just better decision making. Oh, it's over there. Wow. Well, if we get another bomb, we can get into the boss trap room, and then we can use the stars card to get out. TLDR, you can always get better. Don't ever think that you are the best at something, because you can always improve. There's always, the old adage, there's always a bigger fish. Well, there's always someone who's going to do something better than you. And don't ever believe for a second that you're going to be the best at something. You can strive to be the best, of course, but don't ever think that you are the best, because that's when reality sets in. Gonna bomb my way into the boss trap room here. With Explosivo, it might not be too bad, but I'm kind of irked that we took damage there. We could take Chaos, but I'm not going to. And we get Placenta. Now, the old Dookie, couple Explosivo shots, he should die. We don't need to use the stars card here. Gurglings are going to be a little bit more of a pain. But as you see there, one or two Explosivo shots, and it's all gravy, baby. We got our 2 keys back from going into the vault. All right, fine. Temperance Machine will at least allow me to get out of this room for half price without having to, not really half price, but it makes it to where I don't have to worry about me taking the hit on the Soul Heart. We're going to tap here and run. Actually, we can tap twice and run. There you go. So I walked out, even though we don't get the money. I walked out before the flashing stopped. The flashing, by the way, being the iframes from taking damage, and we did not incur any damage penalty on our Soul Heart, which is good because you want to kind of keep those immaculate. I was looking down at my phone, so I don't know what was inside of the item room, which is fine because we're gonna use the stars card anyway. Fortunately, we don't have flying in that room. 1 Soul Heart. Now, because we have the Tarot Cloth, this is going to spawn a guaranteed double item room. But unfortunately, they're both active items, so lucky us. Still don't want to use the Book of Revelations, although we may want to just bite the bullet now because we have Sanguine Bond and we're going to need that HP. Okay, I'm glad I didn't. I really dislike being forced to get an orbital, a static drop, whenever we need a boss room drop. That's something I hope that eventually we'll get to see an improvement of in terms of the idea of static drops in general just kind of irk me. Now, you could argue that yes, I could have taken Chaos to avoid having to worry about the static drops from the Horsemen, but that also complicates matters because not only does it, yes, technically that is true, I could have done that, but it now complicates any potential devil deals or angel deals that we may want. So, you know, there's always give and take in Isaac, and understanding which ones you need to do and which ones you shouldn't do is also kind of the whole thing surrounding, you know, getting better and improving, that sort of thing. I'm not going to get across from Dark One here because I don't want him to charge. Because as soon as he charges, he's gonna shed the not shed, but you don't want him charging into you when he has the explosive OTers attached to him. There we go. 40.6 deal with the devil chance, not gonna happen. Marrow is nice. We can make up some time here. Curse the Blind. We know that was Blue Baby's only friend, which does contribute towards Beelzebub. Nice shot there by Explosivo. See, but this is what I'm talking about. We have not gotten a single stat up other than Consolation Prize, and had we been getting the orbitals and stuff, we would have even less than that. But this run, much like most of, pretty much all of January so far, has been just it's been kind of slow to start off here. I do like the sort of set it and forget it mentality of the Explosivo tier, though. Now I may end up taking. I'm purposely not going to go for a devil deal here. I actually hope that we miss it because I don't want to have to choose a blind item. No, I'm good. I'd rather hold on to my keys. Okay, never mind. Game is like, well, fine. The tower card was going to drop 12 troll bombs. Get a whole bunch of keys, too. Wow. How often do you see the mega chests pay out with just one tap of the... One tap and that's it. I am going to leave that charge key there because obviously I'm going to be looking to get a full charge for the Book of Revelations. What I was going to say in regards to Blue Baby's Only Friend is that I'll get it if it's on the way, but I'm not going to go out of my way just to look for it. The nice thing about this, of course, is that it does give us it's a 1 out of 3 transformation for Beelzebub, which would give us friendly flies and also, of course, flying, which is the main priority, main motivation of wanting to get Beelzebub. Y'all need to chill the heck out. Don't appreciate getting accosted like this. Blue Baby's Only Friend, we can deal remote damage here, and in blue, you know, it deals a good amount of damage. I would say a respectable amount. I would say Super Secret Room is there, but we know it's not because it's next to the shop. Oh, we're just getting so much money. Senta giving us a little bit of a regen there. I don't know how we managed to get a fly down there with the explosive Otier, but we did it. Also don't know what's still alive in here. Oh, he got out. Another bad thing about having bad damage right now is that it's complicating the way that our tiers are interacting with stuff as well. We don't have that insta-kill on these flies, which is letting them stay alive a lot longer than they should be with these Explosivo tiers. We either want the tiers to kill them or we want the Explosivo to kill them. %, and we get another HP upgrade. Well, ideally, we can use this HP to hopefully get something from Sanguine Bond. Boss rush is not going to happen at this point, so we're gonna have to give up that dream. I will go ahead and take the time to get this cardio coin here, but the only upgrade that we have seen on this entire run for any stat has been the Tears upgrade that we got from Constellation Prize. And no, I don't count Cancer, even though it is a Tears upgrade and an S, double, triple S tier 1 at that. It's not permanent. Curse the Lost. One day we'll get a Curseless Floor. So I don't know if that was Mega Bean or Linger Bean. I hope it's Mega Bean, because that would change the trajectory of this whole entire run. It's hard to tell though, and that's what we talked about. It was like, oh, it was a couple days ago when we had the question of the episode. Someone was asking if I thought that there was a need for a graphical update on certain sprites, and the answer is yes. The beans were one of them. Obviously, the secret room is going to be down here. Obviously not. Despite all of this, despite us having full HP and everything like that, and Explosivo, we are getting hard carried by Explosivo right now. Just imagine this run without having any kind of explosive tiers or anything going on. We'd still be on floor 4 right now. And let Blue Baby the Only Friend do its thing here. No reason to go into the spikes. So what we really got to hope for is we got to hope for a solid, I mean real solid boss drop. On top of that, a good strong devil deal, or really, really, really good payouts from Sanguine Bond. So as you can hear, this is me articulating things that, this is what my brain thinks about when we find ourselves in these situations where we have a really garbo run that is not helping us at all. And you gotta tell yourself, you know, what do we need? What do we need to improve? This is what we need. So you can be focused on that. You can put yourself in the right mindset of, hey, we've got no damage. This is how we have to play. And then we can, when you start getting the stats that you need, then you can start relaxing a little bit. You can start, you know, taking it easy. Theorem's got to be there. It's a greed fight, so this, at the very least, this tells me that our shop is good, which is good, because we have way too much money right now. Hopefully there's a good reroll machine in there. We get Black Candle, we get mapping, we get a champion belt. I mean, any kind of stat upgrades right now. Yeah, so if we had attached an explosive Otier to that leaper, it would have shed it as soon as it jumped in the air. So we're about to find out whether or not this is Mega Bean or not. Or if it's just another fake out with Linger Bean. It's Mega Bean! Alright, so we're going to be able to get into Boss Rush now. That's good. Get the battle right. We definitely want to fill our hearts. Oh my gosh. We want to fill our hearts before getting into the devil deal, just because we're expecting to get a good round of taps from Sanguine Bond and not getting any like extra HP or anything from the boss. How are you two still alive? How are you still alive? Yeah, so we use Mega Bean there. And, yep. Yeah, this is close enough. I'll take that hybrid heart. I'm going to grab one of the charge keys for Mega Bean. Actually, that gives a full charge. Wow. Wow. I guess technically because it gives you 6 charges, so that makes sense. It's going to be Loki, and Loki is going to be high-key dead. Look at that. Mega Bean, instant S-tier item. We do get a tiers upgrade. And we get a very solid devil deal here, but we got to play Sanguine Bond first. All right, we're starting at 3.16 damage. Let's see what we end up with here. Nice. Already first tap damage upgrade. Fine by that. Yeah, this is less fine. Got another damage upgrade. It's good. Keep feeding us black hearts and we'll be fine. Brother. Yeah, we got 2 damage upgrades, which is not ideal, but it's better. So we effectively doubled our damage. Now we can go back and we can pick up the charge keys with the Book of Revelations to get 2 soul hearts back. I'm sticking with Mega Bean, though. Mega Bean allows us to have some really, really nice shutdown power. And more importantly, it gives us the opportunity to go into the boss rush room, despite us not really ever having a chance to get in there. So Mega Bean is once again going to be called upon to carry us here. But Incubus is a great pickup. Invicta Robes, great pickup. We did get a significant tiers up from the boss, so it was a big floor for us. Unless that charge was that charge key on the other floor? I don't remember. Definitely use some movement speed now. 1.07 damage. Or movement speed's not great anymore. A couple of you would ask me why do I say that, because it's not like the enemies get faster the further you go into a run. It's just the demands of you get. Technically, yes, that is true. The enemies don't get faster, but they do get more difficult, requiring you to dodge more. Like, there's more projectiles coming at you, more things that charge you, that sort of stuff. So you got to be on your toes. Oh my gosh. E-Bagger going ham here. Yeah, I saw that one, but that's all right. We're still up 1.5 soul hearts here. Get a justice card. I don't know how he lived through that. That bomb was right on you there, brother. Okay, well, congrats, you got your hit. No, do not want Cursed Eye again. This is not the time nor place. All right, I guess that's over. So even though we didn't find the charge key that I thought we had on this floor, we still gain soul hearts. We might be able to get one more depending on what's in this next room. With the sack room shuffle here, but just don't have. Even if we had the HP, I still wouldn't do it because we just don't have enough damage to beat Lamb. Like, could we do it? Yes. Will we do it? No. Not right now. Now, if we had Nun's Habit or something like that, then I would be slightly more inclined to do it. I could have swore there was another full charge. I guess that was on the last floor. Oh, well, either way, we got Mega Bean. Mega Bean's going to allow us to go into the boss trap room. Boss rush room, I should say. Oh, does this count? No, that doesn't count as combat, does it? We're pulling out all the stops here to get this last soul heart. It's going to happen. I don't care about Scapegoat. I just want to see if combat inside the crawl space counts as combat. Let's see. I don't think it does. It does. Wow. Well, there you go. Nice. We all learned something today. See, and that's a thing that I probably knew at one point but forgot about, and now I know it again. And I most likely will remember it this time. Totally remember it. Yep. Eden's Blessing again is going to give us another Tears upgrade, which is fine. I don't like how it keeps showing up, though. Now, if you find yourself, by the way, Eden's Blessing gives you a Tears up, but it also gives you a second item that you start with, or an extra item, or an item to start with on the next run. Now, to those of you, you can really judge someone's skill level and also experience in Isaac by their reaction to, I don't like Eden's Blessing, for one of the two reasons. For one of the two effects that it does. The reason why I don't like Eden's Blessing is because it gives you an extra item. Now, again, you can gauge someone's experience level in Isaac by how they respond to you saying that. Newer players will say, well, what's the problem with getting an extra item? That to me sounds like it's a win-win. Like, how could an extra item at the start be bad? Experienced players will tell you, well, yes, you do get an extra item, but there's no guarantee that that item is going to help you. There's a lot of useless or even dangerous items. You know, the difference of starting a run with, like, say, an extra HP container as Eden. The difference between just starting with, like, say, Lunch, for example, or starting with Lunch and also Isaac's Heart is massively different. Massively different. You could make the argument that, well, it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be positive. It's going to be negative either, which is true. But wouldn't you rather have a scenario where you don't have to guess, or you don't have to hope, or one being good or one being bad or the other? See what I mean? And that is along the same lines of my playstyle when it comes to pills, when it comes to taking blind items and stuff. Yes, it could be good, but it could also be very bad. So why even have that as a possibility when you can simply, without question, categorically remove that scenario from being negative? You can literally just remove this from even being a part of the equation. You can just say, nope, I don't have to worry about this being bad, because guess what? I'm not going to gamble on it in the first place. I kind of hate that Explosivo can hit that. I'm going to stick with the cancer item, or cancer trinket. We need to go back for the Fool card, because I am not doing Boss Rush. That makes sense to you all out there. You all who I'm talking to that cannot see me currently. Even though I'm not live. I'm live recording, obviously. But at the same time, it's all about risk tolerance. I mean, it's just like investing. You know, you don't be willing to put up what you can't afford to lose. Same along the lines there. If you're not willing to risk whatever you're doing, you don't want to die, you're streaking, you don't want to kill somebody in multiplayer, you know, you're trying to maintain a 0 death save file or anything like that, then it's up to you. It's all about your tolerances. I like to gamble, but I don't like to, in Isaac anyway, I don't like to gamble. We can use Mega Bean here. We can actually kill Mom and then use Mega Bean. That way we just get this over with. I think we can reopen it as well. Alright, well, thank God we got past that Krampus fight. Yeah, there we go. Ooh, Toxic Shock, baby. So that is the reason why I do not like Eden's Blessing. Unless if I really, really need the tears up. I mean, usually I'll take, like, not... I will say this. Usually, 90% of the time, I will take Eden's Blessing. Because in most of those situations, we need a tears upgrade, right? This was a run that had absolutely no DPS at all. 0. We had 1.92 damage, 3.16 damage, 1.92 tears rate, 3.16 damage. That is doo-doo. That is lay stinky DPS there. So in every one of those situations, I would absolutely take Eden's Blessing. It wouldn't do this here, right? Okay. I didn't think so. It's hard to leave Sigil of Baphomet, but I'm gonna. Hope you all been enjoying the Pantera album covers lately, by the way. Alex has done a great job. Pantera is one of those bands that, like, I was never a massive fan of. Mainly because I don't really like Phil as a person. But I loved Dimebag and I loved Vinny. Go ahead and... Oh, I see. I was gonna say I was just gonna go ahead and eliminate this room from being a problem, but then the spikes detach themselves. I was never a huge Pantera fan, but I do like them. There's something if I don't like the front man of a band, I'm gonna less like them as in general. Like, I like All That Remains, but I know from firsthand experience that the frontman for All That Remains is kind of a jerk. Yeah, we can go for it. Yeah, I wish we didn't go for it. I think you get that though with a lot of famous people, a lot of famous rock stars, like Corey Taylor. Corey Taylor, I think he's got one of the best voices in rock, and really talented songwriter. But he's been known to be kind of a jerk. I've met Sully Erna from Godsmack, and he was also a pretty big jerk. But I've also met like frontmen for bands and stuff that have been really cool. Jay Lauren from Hurt, he was a really awesome dude. He was cool to hang out with. Spider from Powerman 5000, Wayne Static, awesome dudes. Really cool. I've never met Surge, but I've seen Surge before. I didn't talk to him though. Surge also from System of a Down. We're on first name basis, of course. He seems like he's a really down to earth guy. Even though System of a Down's music is kind of not. Assist gets poisoned to all heck here. Finally get a movement speed upgrade. No Devil Deal, man. Yep. There you go, Mega Bean. I'm telling you, Mega Bean is it is on a different level. It's on a different level of usefulness than it was. I think out of any and all of the changes that happened in Repentance Plus, I think Mega Bean is probably easily the biggest turnaround item that we've ever seen. To go from an item that really didn't do much at all, like it did like the fissure, and then like you're lucky if that actually dealt damage, to now being an on-use instant Mama Mega, and still also do a mass poisoning stuff and freeze is just incredible. I mean, that is just, it's amazing. Like, it is truly amazing. It well earns the title of Mega. And what's so funny now is that what's funny now is that because it's got the Mega tag, it's now part of the Mega family. Mr. Mega, Mama Mega, and now, of course, Mega Bean. That's really cool that there's another Mega in the ranks now. I don't know, I always kind of geek out about stuff like that. It's pretty neat, to me anyway. I was looking for the other eye laser and then couldn't see it. Freaking out. Death's Touch, I mean, I honestly don't think that we can take it here. We have to be very careful about we got to be real careful about Explosivo here with this damage. We take Death's Touch, we go down to essentially 4 HP, which sounds like a lot, but with this movement speed and no flying, the piercing shots are nice. But we have Explosivo. Explosivo kind of overtakes piercing shots, and I'll explain why in a moment. Some people may look at that and think that that's a bad idea. We need damage. We don't mind a little tears down for, one of the best tear effects in the game. Plus, on top of that, piercing shots. But the reason why I didn't take it there is you have to factor in a couple of things. First off, again, it's the Explosivo factor, right? We don't have a lot of mobility. We cannot dodge, as you just saw right there, effectively to protect the HP what little HP we're still going to have left with no Spirit Heart multiplier or a Spirit Heart generator or anything like that. Okay. The second thing that we have to consider here is that Explosivo is going to take precedent over everything, because it's going to deal massive damage whenever it actually hits the target. Also, why are there like 400 bajillion bombs going off right now? Like, Pride, calm down, dude. We're just gonna do this again, I guess. Now you might be saying, well, hang on a second, you're still gonna have Explosivo anyway. Why not take the extra damage from and the piercing shots? Because Explosivo tears do not pierce. They will stick on the target regardless if you have piercing shots or not. Okay? And even if you have piercing shots, if it sticks on a target that's right next to you, assuming that you don't have any kind of explosion immunity or anything like that, you will still get hit. You still have to run away. I did not mean to go in here, because now we're gonna have to go fight that room again. So I would rather, if we're gonna be stuck with Explosivo anyway, I would much rather have more HP to lose than take an item that we don't necessarily need. That's not going to be that impactful for a run. Death Touch, there's no question about it. It's an S tier item. You know, the only minimal downside is that you lose a little bit of tears. That's the only downside to Death Touch. And that is certainly not enough to knock it down from an S rating. But as I say that, there are certain situations like this one here where it doesn't make sense to spend 3 hearts. Now, if I were to, and that's the real crux of this issue with me, is not necessarily because of Death's Touch or what it can or can't do when combined with Explosivo. It's the fact that it costs 3 HP. That's what all this is centering around, just for clarity. There's the blind. Now, if Death's Touch didn't cost 3 HP, then this would be a non-discussion here. I'm just simply trying to tell you why, in this case, there is a precedent to not take, or not precedent. There's a reason for me to not take Death's Touch. Because again, some people might look at that and just think that that's just a stupid decision. Like, why would you not take Death's Touch there? So I'm trying to help those people kind of understand, and also anyone else who's just curious, the reason why I would do that. The virus is just going to give us a much-needed movement speed upgrade. By God. Nope, not by God. Fake one. As you see there, Mega Bean cannot pierce through doors in the chest. So, oh, you. And I mean, this is, I hate to tell you, I told you so, but had we taken Death's Touch here, we'd be down to 2 HP, and that's a much scarier place to be than, you know, having 5 HP. Buster 2 being a right pain right now. Mega Bean is fully charged again, and we've gone the wrong way. All right. Yeah, there have been an abnormal amount of curses lately. Someone, I don't remember if it was Twitch chat or if it was a comment on YouTube. Maybe it was YouTube chat. Somebody said, "Have you noticed that there's a greater frequency of curses in Repentance Plus?" I don't know if that's just recency bias or not, but it feels like we're getting more curses lately. Now, whether or not that's true or not, I mean, we got to look at the facts here, but that's something that I would be curious to see if we have gotten more curses in the last last 40, 50 some odd episodes of Repentance Plus than we have pre-Repentance Plus. It just feels like that. But like I said, it could just be recency bias. So thank you for watching, everybody. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you have a great start to your week here in the Mosh Pit. Another rundown here on Monday. Again, thank you all very much for getting another tally on the like streak, getting a head start into the new like streak goal, which I'll be releasing very soon. And again, Happy New Year. Hope you all have had a great first week of your new year. And thank you for liking, commenting, and subscribing. And as always, see you all next time. Until then, so long, everybody. Thanks for watching this video. Thanks to patrons of mine like Organic Mechanic 270, Adarishi Datenshi, and Dershuti01. If you'd like to have your name read at the end of an Isaac episode, check out my Patreon campaign, which you can find over at patreon.com/Sinvicta.